What's up, folks? It's Lillian again of SOfit SF. We're doing life coaching basics. So, something that comes up at some point with everyone that I work with, my clients, students, all that good stuff, is relationships, right? It's the people in your life. At some point, as we're growing, as we're improving our lives, as we're getting healthy, as we're doing all this inventory and reflection and self-inquiry, we have no choice but to bring the other people into our lives. So, you've probably heard things like, oh, you are the sum of like the 5 people that you hang out with the most, and like who you roll with matters and all that stuff. Yes, all that is very, very true. So I want to talk about 2 things in this video. I want to talk about like really assessing who the people are in your life, really recognizing, are they good for you? Are they bad for you? Do they bring you up? Do they bring you down? And then what do you do once you realize that there are some relationships in your life that maybe aren't really serving you? What do you do once you realize that there are some areas, some relationships that need some improvement? So we're going to talk about those 2 different things in this video, okay? So it might be a little bit of a longer one. So everything is connected and everything has energy, especially us as human beings. We all are made of energy and we all give and share and receive and exchange energy. It's really important for us to really understand how we're spending that energy, who we're spending it with, and what is the outcome of that exchange. A really easy way to go into this is maybe you can actually start by making a list of all the folks in your life, all the folks that you spend time with, your friends, who are your circles, who do you really hang out with the most, who do you really engage with the most, and really just do a quick assessment. Are these people that bring you up? Do they encourage you? Do they support you? Do they push you to be better? Do they call you out on your shit? Do they call you out when they know that you're slacking off and that you need to fucking step it up and do something with your life, do something differently, right? Do you have those people in your life that are really cheerleaders for you? And do you also have those folks that kind of bring you down? They're kind of like energy sucks. You notice that when you hang out with them, you always feel a little bit drained. You always find yourself being a little bit negative. You kind of find yourself like bitching about the same stuff. You guys kind of do a lot of the same shit over and over again. And it doesn't really feel like you're growing. We probably all have some of those relationships. And so what we want to do is we really want to take some assessment. We want to take some inventory and really look at like, okay, what are some areas of improvement in my relationships and the people that I hang out with? So obviously the ones that are good, that's great. Keep them, that's wonderful. Now, once you realize that you have some relationships in your life, you have some people in your life that kind of bring you down. Maybe they're coworkers, maybe they're friends, maybe they're really long-term relationships that you've had, like someone that you've known for 25 years. They're a long, old childhood friend, and they mean a lot to you. They've really been there through a lot with you. But you're growing, and you've noticed that they haven't really been growing so much lately. They've kind of been like the same kind of negative person that they've been for like the last 8 years. They kind of tend to complain about a lot of the same stuff, and you're kind of not really feeling it, and you're kind of feeling like it's time to maybe let this relationship go. Like, what do you do with that? So let's talk about more of the hard stuff. Once you identify some relationships that aren't serving you, there are a few different things that you can do, but maybe one of the easiest things that you can do is you can really start to think about distancing yourself from them. When they want to hang out, when they invite you to do things, maybe you actually start to politely decline, and maybe you make yourself less available, and you actually let them know, like, I'm actually not really into setting those boundaries. Like, I'm not really okay with this. I'd rather not do that, and you can start to distance yourselves. And some relationships do need to just go there. But then there are some other complex relationships where maybe you actually have to do a little bit of a deeper dive. You have to actually have a heart-to-heart with them. You have to sit down and talk with them. This is, again, now where you start to bring in your feelings and your needs. So again, you start with that self-assessment with you first, right? What is it about this relationship that makes you feel bad, right? Is it the negativity? Is it the lifestyle? Is it the gossip? Really identify what it is that it brings you down. How does it bring you down? How does it make you feel? And if you feel so courageous enough to be vulnerable enough to address these things with your friends, with the relationships that you have in your life, then please step into it, show up, appear in their lives and actually say, look, I've noticed that every time we hang out, I feel a little drained. I feel a little bit bummed out. And I think it's because there's just a lot of negative energy right now around the way that you are talking about work, or I've just noticed that there hasn't been a lot of change. I feel like that there needs to be some action steps that are taken in a different direction. Start to invite them to see what you are also seeing as well. That's what really good friends do, right? You call them out on their stuff. So that's something that I would recommend, or that I would advise you to do if you do recognize that there are some relationships where you're like, man, like some of these relationships are bringing me down, but at the same time, like I'm not ready to just like step away and just like ditch them, for good. It's like I really actually want to like address this, and I really want to be a good friend back, right? This is a way that you can do that. Just be honest with them, but start with that self-assessment. How does it make me feel? What is it that I don't like about it? And then present that, offer that, and share it as an invitation. Lead with love. Lead with kindness. Always let the person know that you're not attacking them. It's not about them. It's about you and the experience that you're having when you hang out with that person. I hope all of that is helpful for you. We can totally go much deeper into this and get more complex with the scenarios and situations, but just for the sake of time, I want to just give you a couple things that maybe you can work with. So with that said, I hope you got a little something out of this. Click like, subscribe, share if you feel like someone else can benefit from this information, and hopefully I'll see you soon.